All right, guys. I'm here. I'm live in my local park. It's a relatively cloudy day, as you guys can see, but I've come out, got my fresh air, got my little bit of exercise, and you guys can see what the title of this video is. If anyone's gonna let me see if I can actually see any comments. If anybody drops any comments, I should be able to see the comments now. It's not a shiny day, so I can actually see the screen for once. So anyway, all right. So how should churches rebuild after lockdown? That's the question. What I mean by this is some places are slowly opening up, and I'm sure that a lot of people, a lot of Christians, a lot of pastors are anxious of, getting the churches open up. Obviously, safe, but getting people back into church and stuff. Yeah. But the fact is, are there any valid lessons that we can learn after the lockdown, after the pandemic, yeah, and slowly get ourselves back into the routine of going back to church on a Sunday? That's the question. I think it would be a little bit foolhardy to just go back to how things used to be in church. I think we can learn some extremely valid lessons from the situation that we have all found ourselves in. I mean, this virus came and snuck up on us so fast. No one knew it was coming. I don't know if you guys know of anybody who actually prophesied that this thing was gonna come. I never heard anything. Yeah, and I myself didn't even know it was coming. I believe that so shall it be at the returning of Christ, that we won't know the time or the hour. It will just turn up, and you don't know what you could be doing when he turns up. We just pray that we remain doing the right things, yeah, so that at his coming we stand righteous, yeah, and he will then obviously take us with him, yeah, because we don't. I'll tell you something, the last thing you want is to be left behind, yeah. That's the last thing I want anyway, and I'm sure you all can agree with that. So with all that said, how should churches rebuild after lockdown, after this pandemic? Yeah, should it go back to church as normal, or should there be some valid lessons learned where we don't just go back to church as normal, right? I believe we should be taking the lessons in terms of we need to start building closer communities, yeah, both black and white churches. I mean, there's some valid lessons we can learn from what's been happening over the last few weeks, yeah, over the last several weeks, of from the virus down to the marching, down to the looting, down to all these things that we all find so passionate, yeah, to talk about. Some of us, it's created anger. Some of us, it's created resentment. Some of it is created compassion, and some people just didn't know about certain things, and some of us have learned so much stuff through this experience. But how we come out of it and how we then move forward is the key. Do we go back to how we was prior to the pandemic, or do we go back, or do we come forward stronger, better, more in tune to God? Yeah. and 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 more community based. Yeah. Now, as a church, going back to one of the things that I said before on my other video, is that what I've realized with other religions, from the Jews, yeah, down to the Muslims, even Hindus, yeah, they all seem to be very much community based with their religion, with their belief, with their practice. It's very much very community based. It's very much very how can I put it? If you are a Hindu, right, then you are an extension of a family. Okay, so, and it's just the same with the Jews and the Muslims, especially the Muslims as well. You're very much a family. And I think us as Christians, we should learn from that, because it's also in our Bible. Okay? It's also in our Bible. You see, when Jesus said, yeah, how can you say you love me? Sorry, God said, how can you say you love me who you can't see, but hate your brother who you can? Now, that word hate doesn't have to be actual hate. It simply could be a grudge or resentment or whatever it is which is not godly. Yeah. So God is asking the question, how can you say you love me who you can't see, but hate your brother who you can? Now, is every neighbor your brother? No, absolutely not. But those who have a relationship with Christ, yeah, just like yourselves who have a relationship with Christ, then those are the people in which you should call your brother. All right? Now, the mandate is to save souls. The mandate is to go out and share the gospel to the four corners of the earth. Yeah? So that's the four nations of people. Right? However, the fact is your brother who is a fellow Christian, those are the people who you're meant to build your first relationships with. Those are the people that will test you the most. Those are the people that will create character in you. And if you can't get over your emotions with your so-called brothers and sisters, what you will face when you get out there dealing with some of these people from various different belief systems, different cultures, yeah, different walks of life, if you some of you will not stand a chance. Yeah. And I suppose that has been one of the reasons why we don't do it. We're very weak when we do things. And what you'll find is some people in Christendom, they will say, well, they don't believe that's their calling for them to go out and fellowship, because they believe their calling is for they're part of the praise and worship team, and they believe that's what their calling is. Okay, so that relinquishes the responsibility and the mandate of going out there, yeah, sheep amongst wolves, trying to win souls for Christ. But all that is an excuse. We are all meant to do to go out there and share the gospel. So I think the leaders have a real big task on their hands. They went through many years of say eating off the fat of the land, okay? But now there is even a greater calling now. I mean, they've been fatted up enough over the years. right, from eating of the fat of the land. But now what they have to do is now they have to start using some of the fat and start getting active, yeah, for Christ now. Because this is where their congregation, this is where other Christians, this is where we as a family, this is where we need them, and also we ourselves have to now step up. Yeah, this is where we ourselves have to now, we got to step up. Yeah, it's not about talking about it. The days of just talking about it is over. It's now being about it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So as I take my walk in the park, some people are probably looking at me thinking that, what's this guy doing walking with the phone? It's right in front of his face. Well, that's because I'm making a video. So, you know, so this is the question that I'm asking. Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you believe that the churches should be when the churches are slowly coming back together? Do you believe that they need to now take into consideration that they can't come back the same way that they broke up? They got to come back with a new mandate, and that mandate is raising people up to be more Christ-like. Yeah, to stand for don't just lay down for everything, but actually stand for something. Yeah, I think that is one of the key things we have to do as a body of Christ. One, be accountable. Right? Leaders have to be accountable to other godly leaders who are living according to the word, and the Christians, us, we also have to be accountable to each other, because the world has been looking for years to see what we're like, to see if that would be a choice in which they would feel comfortable going down, okay, and becoming a Christian. And you know what? As I've heard many people say, some of the most hypocritical people I've met have been Christians. Yeah? Some of the most weak people that I've met have been Christians. So, yeah, moving forward, I think we really do have to, as we come out of this lockdown and come out of this global pandemic, we can't come out the same. God forbid, yeah, Paul said, it's like a dog that returneth to its vomit. Right? We cannot, because I tell you, if we come out and we go back to business as usual in church, I'm going to say this, and it's not God that's saying, just like Paul would say, right? This is I that's saying it. This ain't God, but this is I. Right? I don't know how long these people and these leaders and these churches will last. Yeah. If we don't come out of this situation a better person, then, and when I say what I mean by that is more Christ-like, then you know what? Our days will be numbered. And I don't say that lightly. And I'm not saying that this is thus saith the Lord. This is thus saith me saying this. But I don't think you can go through what we're going through now and come out the same. Yeah? And it cannot be business as usual. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter. Have a great day, guys. Just thought I'll just take a little walk. You guys can see what it's like in my local park. But I'm going to go home now and carry on with my setting up my business and creating opportunities for some of the most underprivileged young people who need hope in their life. Yeah. So I will talk about that more as time goes on, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. But anyway, guys, have a good day, and I'll catch you guys soon.